Good morning, everyone. My name is Jared Fernandez, and today I'll be covering how sexual activity changes from adolescence to old age. So, just a brief overview before we get started. Sexual activity is characterized by any activity between two or more parties that might cause arousal. And these activities are categorized into multiple areas for reproduction and procreation, exploring different sexual expressions, and finally for pleasure. My presentation is going to cover how sexual activities change from adolescence to old age with regard to illnesses, disabilities, and other underlying health conditions. And some important topics we'll be covering are adolescent and teen sex percentages, common bodily changes in men and women, causes of sexual problems, and other limitations, and lastly, strategies to help cope with these sexual problems. So our first topic is adolescent and teen sex rates. And as you can see from the graph, the overall likelihood that males and females from ages 15 to 24 that have had sexual intercourse uh, greatly increases. The graph shows the upward trend in how likely American teenagers were to have sex in, I believe, 2011 to 2015. In males, there was a 0.59 increase and a 0.64% increase in females. So therefore, as teenagers are reaching their prime years for sex and reproduction, they become more likely to have sex within this time frame. But in contrast to the last slide, a little over half of American teenagers have not had sex. And this graph covers a study of American teenagers that haven't had sex from 1988 to 2015. And some just felt like they didn't have the right partner. They had religious or moral reasons why they wouldn't want to have sex, and finally because they didn't want any pregnancy or risk of STIs. Some common changes in women nearing old age are stiffened vaginal walls, less vaginal lubrication, longer times needed to become aroused and naturally lubricated, and painful intercourse because their vaginas are not properly lubricated. Next, we have changes in men. Men, sorry, may develop erectile dysfunction, ED. Um, their refractory period might increase, so the time it takes to have another orgasm goes up. And they also might experience declining testosterone levels um, and lower testosterone. So with low testosterone, they might become less satisfied with sex, or they might even develop really low sex drives. After body changes in men and women, we have causes of sexual problems and some limitations. These can include arthritis, cancer, heart disease, depression, and dementia, but we'll talk about that on the next slide. Again, these are not all of the problems, but these are just some of the most common ones we see in elderly people. So arthritis can cause joint pain and make it harder to perform sexually. Um, Cancer can change how sensations and orgasms are felt, as well as lowering people's interest in sex. Um, Other medications that men use for heart disease can affect their ability to get erections or even have orgasms. And finally, depression can lead to lowered libido, and it might be a lack of interest in activities in general and intimacy with their partner. Finishing up this section, we have dementia, which can cause partners to express their sexual desires more openly and more directly. But this isn't always a good outcome because they might not know what is this, like a proper sexual behavior. This might cause them to act more impulsively. And our last topic is coping strategies. These could be in the form of sex therapist, taking medication like pills for vaginal dryness or for erectile dysfunction. Um, And you could also have different goals besides just straight penetration and having an orgasm. Or instead of having sex, just spending more time together, kissing, hugging, cuddling, and just doing activities that both partners enjoy. So, to recap, we covered changes in sexual activity from teen to elderly years, changes in men and women, sexual illnesses, and strategies to deal with these illnesses. Hopefully, in the future, research can find more ways to cope with these, or hopefully even cure them, because they affect sexual activity in older couples as well. This is my works cited with all of my sources listed. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you all have a great day.